Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, another re-review from my previous channel. This one's 80s horror, The Initiation. Let's check it out. Our movie starts with a little girl waking up in the middle of the night. Goes into a bedroom, parents' bedroom, and stabs. Well, there was a struggle in the bedroom. There was two men, including one that she stabbed, and the other guy came in, got champagne poured on him, and then fell into the fire.
You're still in the management.
Rich girl Kelly is pledging a sorority.
Yeah, Summers anyway. What about it? You have access to the keys. You know the alarm system. If your devoted trainer wants, it's very simple, sisters. We send the pledges into Kelly's father's store late Saturday night to steal the night watchman's uniform.
Meanwhile, at the local sanitarium, there's a disfigured man gardening. And then later that night, as the nurse is trying to leave the sanitarium, somebody stabs her with the same tool that gardener guy was using while the crazies watched. Back at Kelly's parents' house, Clu Gallagher and Vera Miles.
Seven inmates escaped last night.
Oh my God. Was this?
Yes, but he said not to worry. They'd take care of it. These people usually turn up in a day or so.
Strange.
Kelly's assistant professor,
I have this dream.
Mr. Adams.
It's a recurring nightmare, actually. I've had it ever since I was a little kid, and I've been having it a lot.
Recurring nightmare after adolescence.
It's with this stranger coming in, fighting with my father. And the strange man ends up catching on fire and burning to death. It's always the same. The last image is of his whole body engulfed in flames.
I've been standing here wondering why we've done this thing. Why we've created this horrible lie. For years I thought it was for Kelly.
So Kelly's agreed to do this dream study with her professor guy. She doesn't really remember anything about her childhood prior to that. Dad might be cheating on Mom.
All right, babe, I'll see you in a little while. Yeah, I love you too.
But his dad's getting ready to leave. Mom is oblivious.
I'm so embarrassed. Get used to it, kiddo. You're with Ralph Bonner, better known to friends and enemies alike as the Boner. This could be the most important night of your life.
God help me.
Meanwhile, Kelly is growing closer to her assistant professor.
Randall, for Christ's sake. Kelly Randall.
Mom interferes in the sleep study
Kelly Randall.
and gives her a different last name.
Awaken on the count of 3.
So what's going on here?
2.
Meanwhile, the plan to break into the department store is still on.
Across the street.
Kelly's able to get them in.
Where's Beth? I'll tell you about it later. Unlocked? Good. You have 1 hour to get the uniform. Attract his attention.
There are spare uniforms, apparently.
Well, how can you get the uniform if he's down here? They keep spares in the lounge. Megan will never know the difference.
Megan wants to scare them.
Remember, don't let them see you. And no pledge leaves the store until she's had that shit scared out of her.
Shit scared out of her. Shit scared out of her.
So they got the uniform.
Who's there? I said, who's there?
Scare the shit out of him. I got you, Megan.
This is Andrew, one of Megan's guys. That was Andrew. Now the bodies are starting to pile up.
Room
was Dwight Fairchild, chairman of the board, Fairchild Department Store.
Kelly didn't try to kill her father. She tried to kill the man who was sleeping with her mother, Dwight Fairchild.
And the stranger in her dreams was actually her real father. Rural fireside sanitarium.
And Mr. Randall has escaped.
She was a nurse, Gladys Higgins, and an inmate groundskeeper, Jason Randall.
Now we know what happened to the real father.
Now the bodies are starting to be discovered. That usually means you're next. Peter finds out that Kelly is at the Fairchild store building. And
Do you have keys to the building, Mrs. Fairchild? I need the keys. Do you have the keys?
Ralph, what is this? This is not a joke.
being briefly trapped on an elevator. And although Kelly doesn't realize it, out of the shadows comes her real father, burned and scarred. They make it up to the roof, where she promptly bashes him. Peter comes in, and he takes a knife. What? Is Kelly the killer? Or is Kelly's twin the killer?
All these years, you've been seeing the sights of the world. I've been stuck in that place. I got out though. I've been watching you, Mr. Darling.
With little explanation, Mom is taken away, although I don't know what crime she committed. Peter's apparently going to be okay. And that's our film. All right, let's talk about the initiation. Daphne Zuniga, Clu Gallagher, Hunter Tylo, who apparently was in some soap operas, and Vera Miles, who I believe was in Psycho. So anyway, we have the initiation here. 1984 horror movie, and Daphne Zuniga. The movie starts out with this little girl who walks into her parents' bedroom and sees, I don't know, something going on. There's a guy there, another guy, then another guy comes in. Somebody gets stabbed, one of the guys does, and then he burns in a fire after getting some alcohol poured on him. The next thing you know, we fast forward, I don't know, 15 years or so. That little girl is now grown up, and she's pledging a sorority, Delta Rho Chi. And apparently we learned that she has completely blocked out anything that happened prior to that night. She has no memory of it. But she does have a recurring dream, a recurring nightmare of a burning man and a mirror and whatever else. So anyway, she decides to go in this dream study with this college professor or this assistant professor that she ends up liking. They become a couple. Meanwhile, the sorority leader, the head of the sorority house, is hazing them all. And they say, okay, you're this girl, Kelly. You're a rich girl, and you have access to your father's store, this department store or mall. I guess it's a mall, yeah. And if you want to become a member of the sorority, you and the other girls here have to go into that store at night and get the uniform of the night watchman. And that's basically how they get. That's basically the plot here. So they go to the store. Meanwhile, Megan, the sorority house leader, decides she wants to scare them. Of course, while they're in there. Kelly decides there's a spare uniform in the storeroom. She can get that instead, and Megan will never know. Obviously, we know there's a killer on the loose because earlier in the film, this sanitarium, there was this burned guy who apparently escaped with a bunch of other loonies, and he's been killing people. In fact, he kills Clu Gallagher at one point. And then he starts picking off these teens one by one in the store, and then we see the burnt guy show up, which we've learned now is actually her real dad. And that's the real dad who was the one who burned in the fire. Turns out her mom was having an affair with this guy and Mr. Fairchild. And the real father, Kelly's father, got burned and he's been placed in a sanitarium all these years. He's out now and Kelly sees him, doesn't realize it's her father, ends up bashing him in the head and he falls off a roof and he's dead. Then we come downstairs. We think it's all going to be over. The next thing you know, Mr. Adams, the associate professor, shows up and he hugs Kelly. Then Kelly stabs him with a knife. Then Kelly runs in. So there's two Kellys. So we learn that there's a twin situation going on here. One is evil, one isn't. The evil one says, I've been locked up all these years, I've been watching you live this great life. And then they start a fight, and then Mom shows up and shoots the bad girl, the bad Kelly, I guess. I don't know. And then our film kind of abruptly ends. Mom is taken away. Mr. Adams is going to be okay, and Kelly is traumatized again, I guess. I don't know. Okay, interesting film in terms of the fact that if you look very closely in the beginning during that fire sequence, we do see two girls, two twins, although we're led to believe it was a mirror and it was just the same girl. And then, you know, all throughout her dreams she's been having over the years, it was like another girl in a dream too, or in a mirror too. So the whole twin situation is never really explained. Obviously, we know Mom was having an affair, and apparently Dad, after he got burned, somehow got put in a sanitarium. I don't know what was wrong with, if it's anything was wrong with his mind that he had to be put there, but whatever. Mom remarried the new guy, the rich guy, and then apparently there was a twin daughter. Why she was put in the sanitarium also is never explained. We don't know, but she showed up and started killing people, and there you go. Anyway, that's the initiation. I've said about all I need to say about it. There is some decent nude scenes in this movie, actually. Full Frontal, Hunter Tyler, who, again, I know that name. Like I said, I think she was on some soap operas. Daphne Zuniga, of course, is in this. She's the main star, and she keeps her clothes on, actually. But there is a couple other nude scenes, and there's actually some decent gore in this movie, too. Some nice stuff there. So anyway, that is it. It's a decent movie. I kind of dig this one, always kind of have, and kind of came late in the game in that early 80s horror genre, but it's a decent one. So check it out. Leave some comments. I'll leave a link down below if you're looking to buy this movie. I think it's been released on Blu-ray, and I'll leave a link to that one. So leave some comments. Let me know what you think about The Initiation. Watch it. Bye.